Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Jessica Clemons, and this is a breakdown for the Sonic the Hedgehog 3's recent trailer. And because there's just so much goodness in this trailer, let's immediately break it down scene by scene for those details you might have missed. But first, before I break it down immediately, I gotta remind you to go check out nerdriot.shop. It's where you can find the latest and greatest in New Rockstars merch. You can still grab some of our Agatha merch, some of our Venom and Eddie inspired merch. You can also grab, oh wait, I'm wearing the Agatha merch right now. Who is this? Is it Wiccan? It is Wiccan. I love these shirts. The shirts we made for Agatha are so great. There's so much wonderful options for merch. There's even hats, tank tops. It doesn't have to be a shirt. Go over there to nerdriot.shop. Look at what we got. Support the channel. Support us through nerdriot.shop.
And thanks to Fabletics for sponsoring this video. More on them in a moment.
Okay, now let's get into the trailer. Whee! We open the trailer with a flash of Knuckles' purple eyes, then Tails, and lastly Sonic's full frame in a starting like race formation. We're then at the Chow Garden. The song playing right now is Lollipop by the Tempura Kids. This is clearly like a rainforest cafe, kind of meets Chuck E. Cheese. They've turned Chow Garden into an entertainment restaurant, and honestly, I love it. This Chow Garden is pixelated like it was in Sonic Adventures 2, and you could raise these little guys beyond the game's plot, and it was just like a little side bonus that people really like to play. Chows, for those that haven't played the Sonic video games or just haven't seen them before, are these little mysterious, cute little creatures. As you can see, the Chows are slightly different in color. This one has wings, which is also an extension of the various types in the games. Chows have different ability stats that influence their performance. The first 5 you'll see are swimming, flying, running, power, and stamina. Their colors also reflect their breed, not to like a crazy degree, but can inform you which are neutral or rare. Though depending the game, like Sonic Adventures for the Dreamcast, all Chows are neutral, regular, two-toned characters. The later games introduce the hero and dark Chows. Then this little buster comes up to Tails and asks if he's Detective Pikachu.
You Detective Pikachu?
You can see the dark Chow, Cheese, and the red Chow in this shot as well. We should all know by now what Detective Pikachu is. It's kind of funny to me because Pokemon exist in Sonic's world even though they've appeared in games together like Super Smash Bros. Bringing up Detective Pikachu in this kind of feels like a little bit of shade being thrown because Detective Pikachu was beaten by Sonic the Hedgehog's first movie for the highest grossing US box office opening weekend, which set a new record for video game adaptations overall. However, you know, Super Smash Bros beat both those movies. Too bad this isn't a breakdown for that stupid movie. It's not stupid, but it's not a breakdown for that movie. Also, an additional funny thing is there is a Detective Tails in the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog, but this looks nothing like that naked Detective Pikachu. The power then goes out in the restaurant. From the outside, you can tell they're at the big Shibuya crossing in Tokyo. You know, the one that you see all the time on social media. From the outside of the glass, you can see Robotnik's egg drones. According to the Sonic the Hedgehog 2 one-shot comic, they're called Badniks. Badniks, like Robotniks, but just bad. They shoot missiles at the room. There's a man at the table with Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic. And we saw a better shot of this man in the last trailer. This is Commander Walters, who appeared in the last 2 movies. He's the commander of Gun now. Then we get the Paramount logo, which of course has the coins in there. It's raining at the Shibuya crossing, and in the center you can see stands Shadow. All eyes are on him. So if you haven't learned by now, this is a Shadow story, and Shadow story is pretty sad and grim, and we'll get glimpses of why it's sad throughout the trailer. Maria, say it loud and there's music playing. Say it soft and it's almost like praying. Maria. Maria, Maria, Maria. Then we get Robotnik in what I assume is an orange prison jumpsuit saying it's time, Shadow. This jumps right back to Shadow in the middle of Shibuya Crossing. His powers then shut off the entire power to the city. Now, going back to Robotnik, this isn't our Robotnik. He has a brown mustache. This is Jim Carrey's Gerald Robotnik. In the games, this is the grandfather of the young girl named Maria and Dr. Eggman. This man oversaw Project Shadow, a government-sanctioned secret project that created Shadow. Gerald has designed some blueprints for what I think is the flying ship we see later in the trailer. Its design is very reminiscent of the ship we see later as well, and I believe this is the Ark and its Eclipse cannon. Its design includes millions of little intricate drawings. Some look like equations while others are just symbols or figures. This all reminds me of the background equation from when Gerald was being held hostage in the video games. Then we see the scene of Shadow sprinting on the water. I think this is within the machine rising from the water in England because we see this scene later in the trailer and his powers might just jumpstart it. We see now that Eggman and Robotnik are working together and they successfully trap Tails, Knuckles, and Sonic. At first, I believe this location was the remnants of the Ark, but arguably it could be the movie's version of the White Jungle from Sonic Adventures 2. Then we get Eggman saying this.
Double your villains, double your fun.
Which, and yes, I'm old enough to remember, is the jingle for Double Mint Gum. Clearly just a play off of it.
Double your pleasure, double your fun.
There's still a ton of time before the new year, but most of us already know our resolution. Go to the gym, right? To set yourself up for success, you need the right wardrobe. There's no better time to do that than Cyber Monday, and no better place than Fabletics. Fabletics makes clothes that are lightweight, breathable, and moisture wicking. They've got sizes from extra small to 4X with bold colors and neutral shades that go with everything. Like, ooh, this windbreaker, it just feels great. It's perfect for jogging around the neighborhood, and black goes with black, but whatever color you're wearing, it's gonna go with it. And yeah, it breathes well. It's exactly what you need. And thanks to the Fabletics VIP program, you don't have to break the bank to fill your closet. The VIP program gives you 80% off your first order, plus up to 50% off all day, every day on all products. Plus, every month you can use your member credit to redeem a 2-piece set or any product up to $100. It's very flexible. You can choose to shop or skip each month between the 1st and the 5th. And that's in addition to access to VIP only sales, personalized outfit recommendations, free access to the Fabletics Fit app, and monthly drops. Cyber Monday could be the first day of your new wardrobe. To get some Fabletics clothing of your own and sign up for their VIP program, just click the link in the description below.
Then Shadow reveals himself and he teleports into the shot. He did some quick teleporting in his fight with Sonic in the last trailer. Through Chaos Control, he has some control over time and space, making it instantaneous for him to move across it in smaller locations or shorter jumps. He drops what Sonic calls a magic marble, and this device, I'm sure, is a Robotnik invention that uses Shadow's powers, but what's crazy is it uses his powers to create a black hole. That's when we see Tom and Maddie, and Tom is wearing a Donut Lord sweater with donuts all over it. It's a reminder of the nickname that Sonic gave him from the first movie.
My favorite person is the Donut Lord.
Maddie's wearing an all-or-muffin apron, and by the looks of all the baked goods in their house, I assume they're baking up a storm for something. That's when Knuckles, Sonic, and Tails breaks through the ring portal, and truthfully, like every single time, Maddie and Tom are down to help no matter what.
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super... Knuckles, do you mind?
Oh, excuse me.
Tom, Maddie, we need your help on a super dangerous top secret mission.
When?
We're now in England and Tail flies in. We then see Rachel and Tom in camo wear. Later we'll see Maddie and Randall in uniform as well. If you don't remember, Rachel is Maddie's sister, played by Natasha Rothwell. Her husband is Randall. They got married in Hawaii in the last movie. On Randall's arm you can see the badge for Gunn, and if you remember, Randall was part of Operation Catfish, in which Gunn went undercover at Rachel's arranged marriage in the last movie to capture Tails and Sonic. However, he ended up actually falling in love with Rachel by the end of the movie, so he's okay. He's a good guy now. Gunn is the military shadow ops program initially led by Robotnik. It was then reorganized as a task force to handle extraterrestrial threats with Commander Walters in charge. They played a significant part in Sonic 2 and appeared in the Knuckles show, but in the third movie, it'll play yet another big role. Gunn is the video game's military group that, to me, led Shadow into his villain arc. Worried that Gerald Robotnik would use Project Shadows for his dastardly deeds, they ambushed the Ark, killing Shadow's best friend in the light of his and Gerald's lives, Maria. Maria Robotnik, who's featured in this trailer, had a heart of gold, but unfortunately suffered from a disease Shadow was actually created to help cure. We learn a lot of this backstory between Sonic Adventures 2 and the Shadow the Hedgehog game. Maria grew incredibly close with Shadow and vice versa. Also, she became very close to another family on board the Ark, the family of the future commander of Gunn. And could this be Commander Walters in the Sonic movies? We don't know yet, but they could be leading to it. Though once Gunn invaded the Ark, she and Shadow tried to escape, and during this escape, a Gunn agent shot and killed Maria. The young commander blamed Shadow for Maria's death and the death of his family, and forever held a grudge against him. So you can see how Shadow's storyline has touched a lot of lives, but can also involve a ton of new characters into this movie. Back to the trailer, we see Tails with a new device. He's been repping the backpack for a while now, but he's now donning a pair of wings. However, he still uses his tail like a propeller because there's so much momentum. Knuckles propels himself from below Earth, all three speeding alongside one another, truly Team Sonic. Eggman rises out of a manhole in the ground, and of course he does. He's dressed in a matching jacket to Shadow's colors, and far left you see Gerald, but on the far right is Agent Stone, one of my favorite characters in this franchise. It's also around this part of the trailer that you actually can hear the theme song from the 2006 Sonic the Hedgehog. The title of the song is His World.
With Shadow's power.
That's when we see Gerald in a white suit, which matches his appearance in the video games, and I love how well they did these guys' outfits. These guys, it's Jim Carrey playing both people. I like how they did Jim Carrey's outfits. At this location, they must be on the Ark, just in space. This cuts to us seeing Shadow post-Ark explosion, I assume. We saw a snippet of the post-explosion in the last trailer where they're over Maria's dead body. While Shadow uses his powers on the ship, Eggman and Robotnik talk, and this is also very accurate to Eggman's design and coat, because it's exactly the same. So this ship rising out of the water that I talked talked about earlier, I assume is the Ark, and that ship is the ship that they created Shadow in. Then we get a gander at its Eclipse cannon that you saw in Sonic Adventures 2. Like in Sonic Adventure 2, Eggman destroys half of the moon using the Eclipse cannon, and just like we're seeing now in this trailer. We then see Maria and Shadow and their friendship, and oh my god, it's gonna break all of our hearts when we see this little girl die. What's interesting and a little wild to me is that a lot of Shadow's backstory is also featured in the series Sonic and Shadow Generations Dark Beginnings. This similar area is featured in episode 3 titled The Ark, and the blue night sky illuminates the flowers like right now. There are many scenes that feature Shadow and Maria in different locations, but this one feels a little too close to the 2024 animated series. In the show, he can see what Eggman left of the moon from this view due to the Eclipse cannon, so you can see how damning it is. So now Shadow's got a gun, and we love it. Shadow had a motorcycle in the game, Dark Rider, and I wanted Shadow to wield a pistol, just a straight up gun, but you know, not surprisingly, that wouldn't be appropriate for a child's movie. I think so they split hairs here and just gave him a weird kind of laser gun. So then Shadow and Sonic race through a tunnel, bypassing all the cars, and this reminds us of the first race they had in Sonic Adventures 2. Then Shadow launches himself into the air, and it's not like Shadow can fly, so I'm sure he's using his air shoes that expel air from the jets, allowing him to hover and helps with his speed. In this scene, we see the fiery lava behind Sonic, but in the reflection of his eyes, you actually see a couple of colorful shapes, which might be the Chaos Emeralds, because what other colory reflection is beaming off his eyes in this lava setting environment? Yeah, it's probably the Chaos Emeralds. The Chaos Emeralds are an old relic from the Sonic games. The Master Emerald was actually explored in the second movie. It can grant its user the power to turn thoughts into reality, but it threatens all the life in the universe. The emeralds make up the Master Emerald, and Robotnik acquired it in the second movie, but luckily the trio beat him and swore to protect the emeralds going forward. So in this scene, there's a possibility Shadow had found the emeralds, or we might get a gold Sonic again. I assume the latter because in the background of the lava exploding, you can actually see a yellow little trail or a gold streak. Super Shadow versus Super Sonic. I think we might be getting it. If you're locked in online, like most of us, the Sonic the Hedgehog 3 toys kinda gave this reveal away. It did for me. The trailer ends with Eggman in his Christmas jumper sneaking to get a gander of Santa Claus, aka Gerald Robotnik as Santa. And this reminds me of the first movie when he said he'd be home for Christmas. Though this also means we've got another Jim Carrey movie for Christmas. We got 2 for 2 on Jim Carrey for Christmas. And that's it for my breakdown on Sonic 3. I'm so excited for this movie. It looks amazing. It's gonna be so much fun. I've been waiting for this movie since the second one. The holiday season can't come soon enough. I'm gonna watch this with my family and I'm so excited. Follow me at Lulu_Clemons. Subscribe to all 3 channels in the Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Let me know in the comments how you feel about Sonic 3. What did I miss? What did you want to see more of? Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later.